Teacher Man by Frank McCourt is a good read for educators and students curious about personal stories that incorporate the history and sociology of education. Although at times it can seem like the author is just complaining about his life, he provides incredible examples that may be useful for educators. This book focuses on the teaching career of Mr. Frank McCourt, with flashbacks to his own childhood experiences to the daily life of teaching young minds. This book shares it all. The majority of this book focuses on McCourt's journey in teaching at several very different schools over his lifetime, along with more personal stories that provide insight to what life was like during that time. There is an extremely explicit question within this book. The question was, what is education anyway, and what are we doing in school? McCourt says, you can say you're trying to graduate so that you can go to college and prepare for a career, but I've worked out an equation for myself, an equation of fear to freedom. I don't think anyone achieves complete freedom, but what I am trying to do with you is drive fear into the corner. Sociology comes into play when McCourt talks about what he learned in preparation of becoming a teacher. He says they talked about theories and philosophies of education, about morals and ethical imperatives. And again, when McCourt struggles with how to teach, he reflects and says, I argue with myself. You're telling stories and you're supposed to be teaching. I am teaching. Storytelling is teaching. The different schools that McCourt taught in provide yet another example of sociology. Each school anticipated a different outcome for its students. McKee Vocational and Technical High School had students grow up to work. The High School of Fashion Industries incorporated the traditional education along with occupational knowledge. The history of the opinions of the schools is stated with the quote of, vocational schools were seen by many as dumping grounds for students ill-equipped for academic high schools. Again, we see that in the past there were certain views with different schools. Catholic primary schools were the best in class. As long as your handwriting was clear and handsome, you would do well. This shows that Catholic schools were strictly based on a sense of perfectionism. We can also see that during the time of this book there was a fear of communism because of the fact that McCourt recalls signing statements declaring our loyalty to America, assuring the world we were not now, nor had we ever been, members of the Communist Party. Curriculum was talked about in this book when McCourt said they were attentive, punctual, considerate, and eager to learn. This showed how the students were engaging in hidden curriculum by learning the appropriate behaviors for a school setting. The pedagogy in this book included poems that were thought-provoking to the students and had them look for a deeper meaning. Now it's your turn. How do you interpret this? Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone, they will come home, wagging their tails behind them.
Created using Powtoon.